And I'm Will.
And we're from the YouTube channel
WORLDTOWNING! We've been on the road now for 4 years, and we're currently RVing through Europe, and we're on a 50-country tour, seeing every single country in our RV.
With our children, Avalon and Largo, and our hamster. We sold everything 4 years ago to take off and spend more time as a family and live our travel dreams. We didn't leave to travel because our life was awful. We actually liked our life. We left our suburban life, but we didn't have much time as a family, and we were spending a lot of money to have this life and not getting out of it what we wanted. So how did this all begin? Were we one of those people that decided, we're gonna go travel, and in 6 months we left?
No, not necessarily.
Not even close.
I was a corporate accountant, and I had jobs which said, you can travel the world if you just raise your hand. And we rose our hands.
And they were dangling that carrot.
So often. And they were saying, oh, it's just not right. The economy's not right. We're not ready to send you.
Opportunities to live abroad as expats kept coming and falling.
And our kids were growing and growing and growing. So we decided at that point that, you know what, we have to take matters into our own hands and make this travel life our own. It was tough, but we made a commitment to making it happen. And so we stayed up every single night.
And we would go through everything that needed to be done for us to move to another country. Medical, technology, housing, all of this stuff. And we just started researching like mad. We gave ourselves 12 months. Will and I have a tendency to bite off more than we can chew. And basically, our transition into Costa Rica, we did all the pre-planning we could possibly do, but we bit off more than we could chew. We took on, him starting his own business, starting to homeschool one of our children in a country where 3 of us didn't speak the language, and we had such a hard transition. It's a little different now, but at the time, 4 years ago, people were not as honest about how the transition into this travel life was tough. You're doing all this planning for this year beforehand, and it's hard, and you're thinking, oh, when I get to Costa Rica, I'm gonna see rainbows and unicorns, and we're gonna drink awesome coffee, and you get there, and it's pure hell. And you're like, is it us? Is it them? Is it this? Is it that? What have we done wrong?
At the end of the day, we realized that there's such a thing called a transition period, which no one spoke about.
And for some people, it's a month, and then for other people like us, it was like 8 years. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like 6 months.
So we spent a year in Costa Rica, and then we went and spent a year in Ecuador and a year in France, and those next transitions were,
smooth.
They were so smooth. And then by the time we hit RVing, we thought, oh, we got this. We're pros. We know what we're doing.
There's no harder transition than moving everything that you own into a 21-foot box while trying to manage a business, while trying to educate your kids.
A startup business at that.
And trying to see the world in a cold climate such as Europe, when you are not used to being cold 24 hours a day.
When it rained 5 out of the first 6 months. I mean, we can laugh about it now, but it was so hard. And there's no place to escape to. If you just need a break, what are you gonna do? Go outside in the rain? When you're in an RV in the middle of the nowhere and the handle on your toilet flush doesn't work, like, what are you gonna do? We were really committed to what we call our why. And we think that everyone that travels should really identify their why, because when you're going through tough transitions like the one we had in Costa Rica and like the one we had when we first started RVing, you have to figure out and know why you're doing this. So when you're like, oh, what are we doing? I want to give up. We'll say, Jess, we're doing this because of the kids. The kids are our why. We want to spend more time with them. We want to see the world with them. We want them to experience different cultures. And that focuses us and centers us and brings us back.
I don't think that we would have held it together if we didn't have the kids standing right in front of us going, oh my gosh, my parents are having a meltdown. And this is what I'm going to model my life after.
I figured they're gonna have this amazing adult life and write books about it, and just everything we see and do is gonna inspire their art or wherever they go in life, or we're gonna be paying for an enormous amount of therapy, right?
The thing I enjoy most about living in an RV is that we're able to travel all around Europe, and all of our stuff comes with us. My top 3 travel experiences that I've had so far were going to Japan and doing everything fun there, riding horses in Costa Rica, and learning to surf also in Costa Rica.
My favorite things, number 1, zip lining like Superman. And number 2, riding a gondola and steering. And going in a helicopter. The way I make friends while we're traveling is we basically meet up with homeschooling groups and see if they speak any of the languages we speak. And then we can play.
We try our best to maintain a 4-day school schedule, work schedule, and a 3-day adventure schedule.
It ends up looking like a full 4-day work day for us, and then Will and I end up working some parts of those other 3 days, and we usually end up working all day on Friday. Besides that, there's really no structure or consistency because we are in a vehicle that moves constantly. We try not to move during the week, because it really is difficult for work and school. We try to embrace every place we are and do something cultural, adventure driven, but sometimes we have to miss places or experiences because we just have too much work or school or whatnot.
But we do our best. We do our best to maintain some type of structure just so that we have a somewhat of a routine.
And it keeps us all sane, I think,
and it keeps us all sane.
I mean, we eat dinner together every night.
And the kids help with the cooking duties, and they are also 100% involved in all the other chores that we have in the RV, meaning like cleaning and dishes.
A lot of the time you'll see stuff on YouTube that's just showing the fun of it. And Will and I pride ourselves on being very honest about, it's not a vacation, right? This is our life, and we work in school and get sick and pay bills and we fight just like anyone else. And we believe it's really important to share that so people know exactly what they're getting into when they start World Towning.
It's a fun story, and it's an easy edit because there's not a lot to edit out.
Because we're so fun. I only have one worst part, and that would be that we're away from family. It's really challenging to be away from our family. They're all in the United States, and we miss them. We miss our friends as well, but we have friends all over the world, so we're always missing friends wherever we live.
We have the absolute best thing, though, about this travel life, and it's the kids. And watching the kids get immersed into this ever-changing culture set that we live in, and with different foods and languages and lifestyles.
And plus, we get to spend 24 hours a day with our kids, and they're only with us for a short amount of time, and it's fantastic to be able to be a family and connect and enjoy each other and spend time together before they take off on their own adventures.
My favorite thing about traveling is meeting all the new people, hearing their stories, and eating all the new food. The easiest chore we have in the camping car is probably filling up the water in our tank that's underneath us right now. The worst one is taking out the poop. Dun dun dun.
If you were to ask us, what would we do different, or
what we would have wished people had told us right beforehand. Do as much as you can before you leave. And we thought we did, but what we didn't do was we didn't start homeschooling before we left. So for example, if you're planning on leaving in a year, give yourself 2 years. Start that business while you're in your home country, when you know the processes and all that stuff, and make it easy for you. Start homeschooling while you're there. Simplify things down and kind of almost start traveling and developing the travel mindset and lifestyle from your home country. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Some of our worst days are some of our most beautiful moments of learning and growing individually and as a family, and there's just a ton of teaching moments. And sometimes you just have to be prepared sometimes to just say, okay, it's noon, I am not focused, the kids are not focused, the day isn't going well, it's bad energy, let's start it over, reinvent, and completely go in a different direction.
And get a coffee.
Yeah, and get a coffee. People always ask us, how long are you gonna do this? Are you almost done?
No. I mean, it's a tough question.
As long as everyone is still happy and we reassess and we speak with the children about this continually, then we will continue doing this. We are able to support ourselves financially through working. The kids are getting an education. We're living a minimalist lifestyle. We're mindful. We get to see the world and experience other cultures, and we're all happy. So I don't know why we would stop.
Our goals right now are, number one, is to continue this lifestyle until at least the kids go off to college.
Yeah.
Because we think that Stopping now would just be crazy. And then
And we're not crazy.
And then goal number 2 is to do this until we stop, because there's no reason why we can't continue to travel and see the world and experience different cultures and explore and see and share what everyone has to offer. Do you want to go back to a stationary life?
No, I don't want to go back to stationary life.
I mean, there's some pros and cons about stationary life.
Both have pros and cons.
Like dumping the poop is a con of RVing.
And how getting up early is a con of normal life.
Stationary. So they're both pretty much okay.
But RVing is better.
Yeah, RVing is better.
Normal for us life is better.
Life is very easy sitting on one side of the screen and looking at what happens to everyone else on the other side of the screen, and only being presented one version of that. And having traveled the world like we have, and having experienced people and cultures and lifestyles and food and taste and smells, the one thing I think that we have truly learned throughout this entire experience is that people are kind wherever you go. They're helpful. The idea is having an open mind and realizing that there is the ability to see people for who they are and what they are, and not stereotype, because the stereotype that exists in your place probably exists somewhere else. I would say my number 1 challenge for you guys is this. Find something that is totally outside of your comfort zone, that is something that I think is preventing you from living your true authentic life. And
it doesn't have to be travel related. It can be anything.
Right, and see if you can execute on that. For me, my biggest challenge was trying to let go of the desire or the need to have a tethered income wherever I go. For me, that was the biggest obstacle in travel, was trying to figure out, can I let go of a bi-weekly paycheck and survive either way? And I did it.
My challenge for you today is to trust in your children. They are amazing little beings. Have faith that they can do hard things, that they're capable of anything they can put their mind to them, and don't overparent. Just let them grow up authentically how they see fit.
That's a hard one.
If traditional school worked for all of your other kids but isn't working for them, then find a way, right? Let them grow up to be who they're meant to be without any pressure from family, friends, social expectations, all of that, because they will grow up being much, much happier. 2017 was the hardest year of my life. It was pretty awful. None of which had to do with
the RV.
With the RV or travel or our family. And what I learned from that is that we are all superheroes. I mean, we can get through much more than we think we can, much more than we give ourselves credit for. And we need to give ourselves that pat on the back, right? Some days are really awful and some years are really awful, but we make it through and we survive and we're capable. And when you step out of your comfort zone and take those plunges, things will happen just as much as they'll happen in a stationary life. But you gotta do it. You gotta keep moving forward, and you gotta keep working through the hard times, because you can do it. You can actually do this. We are superheroes. Not just Will and I, but all of us.
We try our best. And that's all we can ask, is that we try our best.
Don't you just love their story? If you want to follow them along, which I really hope you will, I'll leave a circle for their YouTube channel around here somewhere, so you can go and subscribe to that channel. Will and Jessica are really passionate about helping other people get started in world towning, so I'll leave a link to their World Towning University down in the description, and you can check that out as well. Thank you so much, Will and Jessica and Avalon and Largo, for letting me share your story. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you next week. Bye.